Yo, yo, yo. So today we got another episode of Vic Cooked Smoked Salmon. Now this salmon was very juicy. So I'm going to show you how I did it. So what I did is I get all my stuff together, got all my seasonings. You can pause the video if you need to. But the most important thing is I get some buttery Chardonnay, and that's the key to keeping everything nice and juicy. So anyway, I'm cutting up my squash. Normally for a dish like this, I do squash and zucchini. I thought I had a zucchini, but it turned out to be a cucumber, but that's another story for another day. But anyway, I cut up my squash right here, just kind of dicing it up. Not too thin, but you want it thick enough because I am going to put this on the grill, so it's definitely going to absorb a lot of heat, so I need it to absorb that flavor, so I need thickness to it. And I drew some olive oil in there and some seasoning, just some simple garlic with activated charcoal and pepper and whatever. And then so right about here is we're gonna add the salmon. I'm just cleaning it off, rinsing it off or whatever. And I got this wooden plank, and I soaked the wooden plank in water to let it get nice and moisturized. And that's another key to keeping the salmon juicy as well. After trimming off the edges, they were just gonna wash their hands real quick. And then we're going to get to the season. So I hit it with the applewood. The applewood is going to add that sweetness that I really like to it. Then I'm adding my holy garlic. And then I'm adding my Creole seasoning. And then some herbs. Just some Italian seasoning for the herbs or whatever. You can pretty much add whatever you want. But I like to keep the coat nice and light, because I don't want to overpower the salmon too much. The salmon itself absorbs a nice smoky flavor. And then in this spritz bottle, I got some wine in there, that same Chardonnay. And then right here is where I got my squash. So we're just going to put that on the fire. We're going to continue spritzing our salmon here. And yeah. And then every so often I check on it, make sure it's, as you see, it's getting a nice little color. The veggies are getting a nice little color. Actually, you know what? It might be a fruit, technically. Anyway, we get the white rice. I'm going to put that there for now. We're going to boil some water. And then just moving everything around. I do want to rotate this, so I do that here. And yeah, pretty much I've been sampling some pieces too. It's very delicious. So then once my water gets to a rolling boil, I throw my bags of rice in there. And then I already took off my squash off the grill. And now I'm just kind of just spritzing the salmon, make sure it stays nice and moist. And then I close all the vents, and I just close it in there just to kind of let it just, kind of bake a little bit there for those last few moments. So then I get inside, and I'm taking my rice out of the pack. I drain all the water first, and then I just kind of, empty it out. Now these rice bags are very hot, so be careful if you're handling it. Now I'm going to show you a trick that I like to do to get my rice nice and buttery. I like adding butter to the rice, so I'll just take a little bit of butter, and I'll just kind of stab it on a fork, and then I'll use the fork to swirl around and stir the butter in. And I'll leave it in there for a while just to let the butter melt a little bit. And then I'll bring in my salmon. It's nice and juicy, nice and delicious right there. And then pretty much I get a spatula. You can get a special knife to kind of cut it, but I use a spatula. But anyway, this is just me making my meal preps for work for the next couple days or so. So I put my rice in there, and then of course I got to eat now, so I'm putting my rice there. Then I'm putting my squash, and the squash is nice and delicious too. And then so right about here, I'm just using the spatula to pretty much just cut the salmon. You can use a fancy knife if you want to make those clean cuts, but I really don't care too much for clean cuts. As you see, some of the salmon's too big, so I end up having to break it up anyway. But other than that, yeah, it's I just finished eating another little piece of this, but it's pretty much delicious. So that's the final thing. Go ahead and hit me with a like, comment, and subscribe, and till next time, Vic Cook.